take the opportunity again to signal to them my commitment and my gratitude to them with respect to the sacrifices that they've made throughout the years, particularly post-independence. But in particular, there's no secret that in 2020, 2021, 2022, that the country and the Caribbean had to go through a challenge with respect to COVID. And teachers were on the front line of the COVID pandemic. I want to place on record again the ministry's deep appreciation with respect to the sacrifice that they've made on behalf of the country, making sure that our children were still taught in a very new and different and difficult environment, but one nonetheless that allowed for us to be able to come through and still to be able to meet our respective objectives as a government, people, and the country. Build out a new country, a new economy, particularly in the advent of it being a republic. We have to do new things. We have to do new things that allow for the country to look to the future of building on the current infrastructure that we have. And part and parcel of that, therefore, in my view, and the team supports that view, is that this ministry has to be robust, it has to be current, it has to be relevant, so as to adapt to the changing reality, so that as we produce world-class citizens and our students, that they have the ability to do so based on an educational system, not just that is world-class, but allows for them to be able to treat to their talent that God has given them, and for us to really build up an ecosystem that all can benefit. Now, part and parcel of that, as I said, I met with the stakeholders, but in particular, I met with our teachers. Within the first week, I would have had meetings starting in the northern zone of our primary schools, where I met with all of the teachers at Alexander School. And then second of all, I met at Leicesterbourne School with the teachers in the central zone. And then the southern zone and the eastern zone soon to come. And thereafter, the teachers of our secondary school. Why did I do that, and why is the ministry doing that? In order for us to spread the message of transformation, we have to ensure that every single body in the entire education system is on board and understands where we are going. So the purpose of that meeting with the teachers, for example, was to one, for me to hear as a new minister of education, particularly coming from economic affairs into this new ministry, is to get a very first-hand touch as to what are the issues, what are the opportunities they're looking for, and then how can we, as the central ministry, work with them in building out that infrastructure as we go forward. I must tell you, the teachers, we've had they had some very frank dialogue with me and our team, which bore a lot of fruit. And what do I mean? There's some simple things that we have to do in the modernization of the ministry. A number of teachers, for example, who have spoken to the inability of being able to get their pay slips on time, being able to access job records. And then, of course, in the 2025 reality, and in the advent of technology, I've made it clear that the ministry now has to be able to do that and many other things in real time. So what we're doing, we've now decided to create a dashboard that allows for our teachers to be able to access those things in real time. So whether at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, while you're on vacation, you'll be able to, once the system is settled, to be able to log in and to get these things in a moment's notice, as opposed to having to go the traditional route of an email or a phone call. The second aspect of it is that you get to understand where do they want to take education. And the teachers have made it very clear that they believe that Barbados also too can be the #1 education system in the world. And the ministry is happy about that. Why? Because that is something that we have to aspire to and we have to do. Not just to be the best in the world, for being the best in the world's sake, but it is really about ensuring that our young people, once they pass through our education system, can go any corner of the earth and command not just a good job or a good business or own a good business, but to be able to go toe-to-toe with our counterparts in Asia, in the Arab world, in Africa, in North America, Latin America, and the Caribbean, so that we get back to that pride in industry as a country, being able to deliver. And as a result of that, we've made a commitment to treat to a number of long-standing issues that our teachers have had to confront.